To know what we're doing and where we're going now, sort of.
What if you could explore a world across an ocean and full of culture?
From here, it's all uphill.
Right. Stair Stepper 2001.
A place where the mountains are high.
And I am beat. Damn it, I am happy.
Woo! All the making a great epic cocktail.
In spring 2009, our team of 3 explored 23,390 foot Baruntse in Nepal. This is our story from the jungle to the heights of the Himalayas.
Had one of our 10 poles snap.
We are still stuck here in the Good Times Clubhouse at 21,500 feet. This is the best view we've had in a while.
This is Ski the Himalayas, Baruntse 2009. Living the dream, hanging out here with my boy Jon Miller. And Jon Miller, I'm Ben Clark. We've met before. And now we've even gone to Nepal, in fact.
In fact, yes.
And we're in Nepal now. Can you tell me about where we are and how we got there?
We are day 8, 9, something like that, of our trek coming in towards Makalu base camp. This is just a huge moonscape of a valley that we were hiking through. And you can see we are in the high Himalaya now. That is Makalu. That is the Black Mountain. It's an 8,000 meter peak. And it just dwarfs everything. Like, we've been seeing some big peaks, but you come around that corner and there was like, oh, whoa.
And there's a gigantic boulder, and here's our porters. We had porters helping us get all of our gear to, we found out, Makalu base camp before we go to another base camp before we finally make a base camp. And as you view this, you're going to find conditions.
Walking through sand right now, if you can believe it.
Pretty crazy conditions up there.
Sand.
A little everything.
Where could I possibly be and be walking through sand? Oh, let's try Makalu base camp. Right.
So for your next beach vacation, your next paddling trip, consider Nepal. So here's Dorji. He is going to be with us for a while on the trip here. He's been with us now for how many days we were on the trail here? Like 10? Something like 8, 10? 8,
10, somewhere in there.
This has to be day 10. So 10 days now,
yeah, you're right.
We've been hiking to try and get to our base camp. And so Dorji, part of the cook staff that accompanied us on the expedition, we did not go with this completely alone. And here's 2 ladies. This lady's got on typical Nepali fare. It's like a sarong, but with some MC Hammer dancing pants, basically. And she is going to dance her way across these stones in sandals and make it look good. With a tump line, of course.
Absolutely.
Carrying a big load. Pretty amazing, these guys.
Yeah, they rocked. And we knew there had to be a bridge around here somewhere. We just didn't find it until much later.
And it was no good.
Even
with that, it was like,
I'll just go across here.
There's Gilu in the front. He is our head sanitarian. They kept us healthy by feeding us sanitary food, a major plus in Nepal.
And Josh right behind him.
Josh is our partner. You may know him from Annapurna 4, China Expeditions, some other stuff that you can find at therestofeverest.com. And now Baruntse. So this is my attempt to trying to capture the experience of walking across a stream.
And that water was cold.
And silty.
Yeah, coming right off the glacier. And it's much colder than this, and it's ice. And those rocks are slick.
Yeah. The rocks are, in fact, very slick, quite frequently. And rounded. Been a lot of water through there. So, I mean, that's kind of the deal with the mountain when you're out doing this. You're looking for camps that are going to have water. And people always ask, well, how are you guys, how do you eat? What do you do? Well, whenever you can, you try and find a place where you can camp nearby a stream so you don't have to melt snow or go out and not drink any water for the next day or two. So not too uncommon to find water near base camps of big mountains.
I love long legs.
And not too uncommon now to find Jon Miller making us laugh in the same places. Yep, here's
So,
Malin.
yeah, this is a bit of a cultural misunderstanding there. Yeah.
Yeah, leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
When you see us, ask us. So here we have some weather kind of moving in, pretty typical for the afternoons in this region. And I was pretty psyched because this became great B-roll for me to edit into the film that I'm making on this because, well, as it would turn out, there was weather that kind of affected our expedition a little.
Just a little bit.
So here are the porters. John, do you want to tell us about what's going on here?
Yep, at this point we've reached Makalu Base Camp. We have not quite reached to where we want to go yet. But at this point we're going to start cutting back on our porters. Instead of the whole porter crew, we had about 25 porters up to this point. We were going to get rid of about 15 of them. And just kind of take the more experienced, the stronger porters, because at this point the trail is gone. We are no longer going to be on any sort of real trail.
Yep.
So we're trying to, cut things back, make it a little bit better for us. But saying goodbye, we're tipping them. Typically, it's about 100 rupee per day, so it's 1,000 rupees that we're tipping them. They've been with us for 10 days.
And they did such
They did a phenomenal job. And you cannot mountaineer you can't expedition in Nepal without them. It's just impossible.
And this is great. This is like one of those money shots that you dream of with a gigantic 27,000 foot mountain behind it. There's Josh hanging out, soaking in the view.
And just the light. I've got pictures of this. We've got some video of that night, and it just.
But these glaciers are
it's just
huge.
We're kind of bummed we don't have any of the footage. All these hanging glaciers that you're seeing, they would be releasing big seracs and so on just the whole time we're there, and you just hear boom,
constant.
It was crazy.
Look at that. So this is 27,700 foot Makalu. Wow. And we're at 16,000 feet. So that's 11,000 foot a mountain you're looking at there.
Yeah. And as far as
I
I know,
is funny. Josh is doing some Karate Kid style action for us, and there's a man laughing that you can hear. He is a local, and he's laughing because he can see this through the monitor. And Josh is a pretty long way away, as you see from this this pullout, and he's just viewing it through the camera.
So now at this point we have left Makalu Base Camp. We've kind of rested there for a little bit. Now we're working our way up towards what's called the French Base Camp for Baruntse, which is up the valley a little bit. It's right across the valley from the advanced base camp on Makalu, but there's a little bit of a trail still, but we're going to start going into this moraine, which is all this jumbled, nasty rock that you're seeing in this film.
Yeah, and there, once again, is the Black Mountain, 27,700 foot Makalu. And that's a foreshortened view of 11,000 feet of terrain.
Yeah, it's huge. And also notice how fast those clouds were moving.
Here, surrounded by mountains. Nice, enjoyable hike up here. Playing this big sandbox as we speak. Trail's pretty sandy. All in all, it's just, what can I say besides...
You said it all, Josh.
All of you watching this, you probably wish you were here. It is a very beautiful place. Yeah.
A man, a few words, but definitely deliberate and thoughtful ones.
Yeah. And here's Ben and Josh we're starting at this point. Nobody's really gone to the face of Baruntse, which
a few people, a couple parties have been to this side, but
not much. And so we're
like the 80s.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how we're gonna get there. And in fact,
so we are on, what is this, Josh? Day 10?
10.
Yeah, day 10 now of the approach.
It's
been long, it's been sweet,
Yep.
and now right behind me, big white peak back there, that's Baruntse, that's where we're headed. We've got some serious optimism flowing right now because we looked around. It looks like our access to the northeast face is looking pretty good underneath a peak that's sort of sitting out there with a little snow on it. And overall, everybody's looking good, feeling really strong. It's an incredibly beautiful place to be. We've got Makalu. Today is definitely not a summit day. It's really windy out here, but yeah, 10 days of approaching. This is a pretty remote place to be. We definitely feel like we're deep in the mountains, and it's anywhere you look like a giant U-shaped valley. So it's this is it. This is where we wanted to be. This is what we wanted to do, and yeah, live the dream, right? Fuck yeah.
we were excited that we finally seen. That was the first time we saw Baruntse.
Baruntse.
And here's John's
That's it. Yeah.
assessment of Baruntse.
We were kind of figuring that.
assessing it, it looks fucking fantastic. This is going to be the access over and around that little
really
brown
good.
peak and all that stuff looks really safe.
You know, that's kind of the key.
So I think we're going to be able to get to that shelf and get around, do what we need to do.
Phenomenal.
What do you think your first time back here? What do you think of this valley?
You know, it's okay. You know, nothing. There's really not a whole lot to see here. What am I saying? Bloody fantastic. I mean, come on. Makalu, all this stuff, most of which doesn't have names. Peak 4, 7, 6. Baruntse, this is incredible. I mean, just the scale is mind-boggling. I mean, you break it down, and you know, intellectually, it's like, okay, so we're climbing. You know, Baruntse, 23,500 feet from a base camp of, you know, roughly 17,000 feet. So, you know, that's not that far. Climatizing, yeah, that's great. And then you look at it and you go, holy shit. That's awesome. Really awesome. Like, how do you, words can't explain, pictures can't explain. You gotta be here. Yeah, you just have to be.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing, man. They're big.
And this being my first trip over there and everything, you know, I was trying to be all cool and, you know, like, oh yeah, it's not that bad, but you can't. Like, these mountains strip away any pretense.
Totally. And we're headed to Baruntse, which is 23,390 feet, hoping to do an unclimbed route on it and then to ski it. So it not only strips away any semblance of scale or humility, it also constantly challenges and brings you, you know, into the heart of some of the highest and wildest mountains in the world. Look, we're about to see a shot of Mount Everest here in just a moment. So we're hiking along, just to give you guys an idea of where we are. We're about 20 miles southwest of Mount Everest near a peak called Makalu, and our attempt will be on 23,390 foot Baruntse. But right here in the middle of your screen, the big black hankin' piece of rock is Lhotse. Well, that's the third highest mountain in the world, and you had just seen Mount Everest on the other side. And you'll see plenty more of those to come in future episodes.
Absolutely.
But for right now, let's talk about these guys, John. What's the deal?
Well, at this point, we have gotten rid of most of our porters. We still have our cook staff and then a select few porters. Because if you notice, there's really no trail anymore. We're just kind of bushwhacking through this moraine. There's the black giant Makalu. I mean,
I can't ever get enough shots of Makalu.
no, absolutely not. And these guys are carrying just back-crushing loads through these just jumbled boulders.
Yeah, if you think it's hard for, you know, if you think this might be hard terrain for you to walk through, I would agree. It humbled me for sure.
Yeah.
But these guys are doing it, and they are, I mean...
They're the heart and soul of the expedition. I mean, in reality, we don't go anywhere without them.
Nope. Except for up on the high mountain. But
yeah.
they don't want to go there.
They don't want to
know
go.
better.
Yeah. I mean, this is their livelihood. This is their life. They love getting back here. They love seeing it. And I mean, I'm sure they'd prefer to do it without the huge loads, but they like the pay. And they're so cheerful about it, so helpful, so nice. It's unbelievable.
It's cool. And here you are just kind of hiking through some granite, and this is like full-on Jaws. Are you ready, folks? Are you ready to see Mount Everest again? Like, I mean, this is just an amazing place to be. Here these guys are hiking, and coming into the right side is Lhotse, and now coming into the right side is Mount Everest with a gigantic plume blowing off of it.
Yep, that would definitely not be a good day to be anywhere near the top of Everest.
No, but quite similar to the one that I had.
Okay,
when
sir.
I started.
All right.
So now this is the end. You've seen some porters in the previous episode that helped us get to Makalu Base Camp. These guys stayed with us one additional day. They made it this far, and they said, you know what? This is Base Camp. So here we're actually going to have a lot more work ahead of us. We certainly appreciate these guys having helped us so much. But now it's on us and a few other gentlemen who you will get to know in the next few episodes as well to get our stuff from here to 17,600 feet to our actual base camp where I don't know that people have ever camped there before.
And
They have, it's only once or twice.
At this point, we're kind of leaving the known world behind. There had been at least one expedition up the valley before this, but we don't know if they camped up there or what. But this had been the actual base camp for previous Baruntse expeditions going up the Southeast Ridge from the side of the mountain. But past this, nobody had really bothered to go. So we kind of were like, okay, we're here, kind of figure out how to get to where we want to
That's me in the green jacket. I cannot thank
Bye.
these guys enough for the job they did. This was really challenging terrain, a lot of long hiking and up and down, gaining lots of elevation. You just, I don't know, if you go to Nepal, you meet some people there that absolutely understand why we're so thankful to be able to meet people this way and to involve them in our expeditions. And there you have yellow mud boots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those became pretty popular at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So there they are. They're empty loads. You know, they're probably going to make it all the way back to the campsite we were at in episode 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say they're at that last spot where we had seen first seen the beautiful high mountains just after the waterfalls. That's probably where you find them. And folks, make sure you go back to the beginning of these episodes if you're just now seeing it. You're going to learn the whole process of why Gilu and Shewang there on your screen are such awesome people, and why we're looking for a new route and starting by walking downhill right here with a bunch of loose teetering boulders.
Oh, yes.
In the shadow of Makalu, and with some nasty sandy sidewalls to this little glacier leading right down into a wet, cold, gnarly pool of what even? It just doesn't even look good. So anyway, stay tuned. More Ski to Himalayas to come. Folks, thanks for joining us. It's Ben Clark. Peace out.